righty. Welcome back to episode 25 of the Foodcast, everybody. This is Patty coming at you from Colorado.
And Heather here in chilly Chicago.
Brr. Hey, before we get started, we have a guest on the show for the first time ever who has a question.
So exciting!
I
know. This is the best.
Say hello.
Hello.
Well, hello. Who is
Tell
this?
us your name.
I'm Danny. I'm an avid Food Moose follower.
Oh, we love you, Danny.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here.
So I heard you have a question for us.
I do. I cannot sleep. Nursing school has officially ruined my sleep schedule, and I just bought a diffuser. So I'm trying to figure out what oils to get because I want to sleep finally.
That is a great question. Well, there's a few things that we can do. I have a blend and I lovingly call it Go the F to Sleep because I also have sleep problems. And it helps. And it is basically cedarwood, valerian, valor, white angelica, and orange.
No lavender?
No lavender for me. I find that lavender just doesn't really work for me. And the smell, I love the smell, but just not at bedtime. I'm one of those people that it just doesn't work for me. So it's primarily cedarwood. And what I do is if I have a half empty bottle of cedarwood, I'll then add, and I'll see if I can come up with some measurements for you later, but then just add the other oils to kind of, fill it up. And it maybe fills up about 3/4 of the way. And then you just shake it up and add maybe 6 or 8 drops to a full diffuser for the night. And that definitely helps. Some other things I would recommend is if you can stand it, I'm not going to lie, valerian is not the freshest of all the oils, but it does work. But if you put it in a roller,
I love that.
with about maybe 3 or 5 drops and then top it off with carrier oil and then roll it on your feet and then put socks on so you don't have to smell it. That works too. And then what else, Heather?
A warm bath.
A warm bath helps. And if you find, I would try lavender, and if that works for you, you can add that to the sleepy blend. It's not one that works for me.
I think it works for some people, but not everyone. It's
Yeah.
one of those kind of funky oils.
Well,
And
I'll
then
definitely try the other combos because I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, I will. I'll try and come up with some ratios for you because sometimes I just wing it. And then the other thing too is if you're already on shift work, we talked last week about some things, or not last week, but a couple episodes ago. We talked about a light therapy light that helps you kind of regulate your sleep systems even when you're kind of off the cycle.
I've never even heard of that.
We will link to that show in the show notes so that you can go back and listen to that.
Ooh, that's nifty. I'm going to have to look into that too. I can add it to my Christmas list.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
Well, I hope that helped. And thanks for being a guest on the show.
Anytime.
Yay.
Here's Heather.
All right. How exciting is this to have
That was
a guest?
super fun.
I know. We need more guests.
I know. If you have a question for us out there in the podcast land, hit us up on our Facebook page.
Maybe not all day long, but we're there.
Okay, so back to your regularly scheduled programming. It is episode 25, and today we're going to be talking about some holiday favorites.
I love holiday favorites.
I know. Can you believe that we're already talking about holidays?
Wasn't it just like Halloween a minute ago?
It was. I think it was.
And then I think I finished digesting my Thanksgiving turkey like 2 minutes ago.
You're
All
going
right.
a little slow.
Maybe
I
a
know.
couple weeks,
Hanukkah's
but still.
over. It's 15 days till Christmas and only 2 days until we welcome in 2019.
Okay, now that's crazy. Stop.
Oh,
Slow it all down. Let's enjoy the ride.
slow your roll, Mother Nature.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No,
I'm like, oh no, we're not PG anymore.
no. It's as much fun as we have. We know that it can be a hard time of the year for a lot of people. Some people don't relish the holidays like we do. But we hope everyone is coping and is using this 15 to 20 minutes of hilarity to keep your spirits high.
Yes, you're welcome.
You are. We're so arrogant. Like I said, we're going to be talking about some food-related holiday traditions that Heather and I can't live without, but we've modified them over the years to make them a little bit more real.
Because we love stuff too. You know,
know.
it's not just like we're going to sit around and eat a bunch of Brussels sprouts for the whole holiday, because that would really upset my stomach. First of all, I would be ringing in the new year in a whole new way.
Wow. You wouldn't need a horn.
Oh. So let's start with my first favorite then,
You
Patty.
tell me.
The Krabby Patty.
Right?
Graham.
Tell us about those.
Okay, so Graham made these like forever, like ever since I could even remember, before I could remember. I have no idea where she got this recipe, but I think they may have initially been called crab meat canapes. I mean, it sounds so much fancier, right?
It's too fancy. We had to dumb it down. to
Krabby Patty was totally the best. And seriously, SpongeBob, hello.
He knows best.
But you know what's really funny is so the year before I got married, I was Christmasing with the new fam, and Krabby Patties showed up at Christmas. And I'm going, well, what do you mean you have Krabby Patties? How do you know these? Like, seriously,
How
this is
dare
our
you know our tradition.
This is our special recipe. And Aunt Kathy goes, I've been making Krabby Patties forever. And she even knew the name Krabby Patty. They weren't canapes at that point in my head, or vice versa, whatever. So she's like, yeah, they were in like the newspaper back when I was a teenager or something. I'm like, oh.
Was
well,
it the
that makes
same
sense.
recipe or was it just something else?
I've never really like matched them up, but they're like spot on close.
Wow.
You know, it's the cheese, it's the butter, it's the English muffin, it's the crab meat, it's the whole shebang. I mean, there's probably some differences between the two, but I always thought
Well,
it was
maybe
really
that's where
interesting.
Graham got it.
I don't know.
We don't know. I don't know that we ever asked her.
She went to home ec college.
That's
so.
true. She was, yeah. All right. So you
Indeed.
talked a little bit about the ingredients. So how do you make it real?
Yes. Okay. So we swapped out the jarred cheese for some shredded cheddar.
Okay. Wait. Back up.
What?
Anything in a jar is not cheese.
All right. It's orange colored goo called cheese food.
There you go. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't delicious, but it's not.
If I say jarred cheese, I mean, I think you understand it's not actual, like I just popped out of a cow cheese, because it's in a jar.
Yeah, on the shelf, no less. Not like in a cooler. It's just sitting on the shelf for however long.
Yeah, you know, we still like the Velveeta cheese dip too.
Ugh. All right, so what'd you swap out your pasteurized cheese food for?
Shredded cheddar. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just real cheese. You know what I also use is Trader Joe's has pub cheese, and it's in a container. It is refrigerated.
Okay.
I like to use that too because it's got kind of that sharp flavor.
Oh, that's a good idea. And it's probably a little less greasy. That's one of the things I find when I swap out the cheddar. It gets a little greasy, but that's a good idea. I might try that this year.
Yeah. I also would recommend throw in some cream cheese. Cream cheese is like the best for getting all melty and gooey.
So definite sub for the mayo.
Yeah. Well, I make my own mayo too, or I use that Sir Kensington kind. Which is made with an egg and avocado oil.
Okay.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
I think
that's what it's called. They have it at Costco now too. Obviously it comes in a ginormous jar. You still may want to get it at Whole Foods because it's, if you're not
less than a vat
every day. It's up to you. But yeah, and then gluten-free English muffins, which you can get pretty much anywhere now. So they're fabulous. I've even just used gluten-free toast, the bread, and toasted it. Yeah. And that way, if I'm making a double recipe, one with gluten, one without gluten, then I know which is which, and I don't mix them up. Yeah.
I don't do that. If it's my house, there's no gluten.
Well,
if I'm making them.
Yeah. Sometimes we cross lines for others. The nice thing about the Krabby Patties, though, is once you spread the cheese goo on the bread.
That sounds appetizing.
I know, it's delicious.
About
you put them
topping?
in the topping. You put the topping on the bottoming, and then you put them in the freezer. And then you can leave them there as long as you want, and they're ready to toss in a broiler whenever you are.
Yeah, they broil up real nice and fast, too. So you can throw them in while you're doing your last couple minutes of getting ready before your guests arrive or whatnot.
And they're nice to bring to a party.
Yes, they are.
As long as you have access to an oven or a toasty oven.
All right. So now for one of mine. We talked a little bit about it in a previous episode, but green bean casserole. And I know, because that is just so vile. I'm sorry, but that can of goo, we talk about goo, and those stale fried onions, they're just gross. They taste gross. So please.
To you.
Give it up. They do
Some
taste gross.
people like them.
You're right. It's one of the boys' favorites. He hates mushrooms, but he loves green bean casserole.
Well, because the mushrooms are unrecognizable.
I know. They've been cooked down to nothing. So I will post a link. I posted before, but I will post it again. Link to the Williams-Sonoma green bean casserole. It's super easy. You can make all of the components ahead of time. Just don't assemble them all until you're ready. And then the base with the blanched green beans, throw that in the oven, and then top it with your fried shallots. And it's super
so
easy.
Fancy.
Yeah, it sounds fancy, but it's so easy. And again, you can make all the components ahead of time if you can't sense the theme here that we're going for easy. And then just throw it, heat it up while your turkey or your ham or your whatever is resting, and it'll be ready when dinner's ready. So yeah, super easy, and it's super, super yummy.
I love it.
I know. Speaking of Williams-Sonoma, have you ever tried their hot chocolate?
No, this sounds amazing. Just thinking about the peppermint bark wins me over every year.
So that's their peppermint hot chocolate. Is they shave.
Shut up.
They literally shave the chocolate. It's not a powder of deep cocoa and hydrogenated fats. It's just shaved chocolate off the bar. And then because it's so thin, you add it to your hot milk and it melts. And that's what makes wonderful, delicious, real hot cocoa that isn't hard.
Chocolate in milk.
Right.
Hot chocolate.
It's not hot chocolate.
All right, that was really good. 2 points for Gryffindor.
Oh, man.
Okay, that sounds phenomenal. But, can I tell you about one of my favorites too, which is a favorite here with the family that comes from the California area? San Francisco Christmas dip.
Oh.
Do you remember that? Mom used to make it all the time. It came in a humongous sourdough bread bowl. I guess that's why it was San Francisco, because of the bread. Seriously, I just figured that out. I'm slow. It's cool. I'm pretty.
Oh, you learned one thing today.
Because I'm so pretty. Yeah. So it's got that dried chip beef, which also comes in a jar. So meat in a jar, shelf stable.
Probably not the best thing for you.
Wow, we totally grew up in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then it's got scallions, so that's the red and the green.
Festive.
Oh my, yeah, but so yummy. So it's the cream cheese base. You put a little Worcestershire sauce. I would use today a different kind of meat. Then
you could use like a sliced ribeye.
Yeah.
Freeze it a little so it's easier to slice really thin, and then it'll cook, in the cream cheese base while you're heating it up.
Wait, so you're going to put it in raw?
You can, or you could, you could fry it up in a skillet real quick, or you could dehydrate your own if you really wanted to get crazy.
See, that's actually an interesting idea right there.
Yeah, get that dehydrator going.
I like that. So then you could basically use your jerky kind of meat
Mm-hmm.
that you've made yourself. It's not full of crud. And throw
And
that
then
in
it's,
with your cream cheese and your spices and a whole bunch of onions.
Mhm.
Scallion kind.
So it's still festive,
Yeah. And then we put it in a baking dish.
just like
instead
gluten-free
of-
crackers.
Yeah, instead of with the sourdough loaf, which my husband will tell you is not as fun, but it's way more delicious.
I've never seen a gluten-free loaf like that you could hollow out. Have you?
Yeah, no.
No.
Someday we will have
Yeah.
it.
It's fine with the crackers.
True.
And it slows you down a little too. Sometimes when mom would cut up the bread chunks, they would be quite large, and then you're like in there with your whole hand scooping up the dip on this
Just
huge piece of bread.
digging on in there.
And then you're totally stuffed before dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Sometimes that is
yeah.
dinner. I could see that.
Food.
I know. Well, those are some of our favorites. We'd love to hear some of your favorites. Let us know over on the Facebook page.
Tell me
Alrighty.
what you do for Christmas. I want to hear.
Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever else you celebrate.
Just
Festivus?
New Year's. Just New Year's.
Yeah.
Tell me your special things.
Does anyone celebrate Festivus? I want to see a picture of your full.
That is actually a lot of fun.
Oh, my.
All right. So for Ditch and Switch today, we have told you how to go to sleep at night. We have told you how to get rid of the gooey cheese from the shelves area in the grocery store. And I don't think you need any more than that.
No.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. Oh man. All right. We're going to link to I'll link to the green bean casserole, to the hot chocolate. We don't have recipes out for the other stuff, but maybe we can make that happen between now and then.
Oh, I think maybe we could.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to put your sleepy blend.
Yes, I will.
Your Go the F to Sleep blend.
If anybody knows the book that's read by Samuel L. Jackson, you'll get that. All right. With that, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at foodmoose.com. Again, find us at Food Moose on Facebook and Instagram and podcast and Pinterest.
How about if you like our podcast, please subscribe and write us a review because you love it so much.
Well, yeah. And what that does is if you write a review, that helps other people looking for our value to find us. The more people that review it, the higher it shows when they do a search for our content or our kind of content. So
exactly. So when they Google Green Bean Casserole Podcast, we will show up.
We've only mentioned it twice. I don't think we're officially the Green Bean
You
Casserole
never know. You
podcast
never
yet.
know.
Oh man. All right. Go forth. Be real. Moose out.
Happy holidays.